Hey there, TRW crew. Matt Vassallo here with the RhinestoneWorld.com. So we got a question from one of our TRW crew members on stoning a font. And it's a pretty easy font, but was having some issues as far as doing a fill. So something like this golf right here. If we wanted just to add an easy outline to this, we could come over here, increase our spacing a little bit, go to place and fill, add stones to path, highlight it, clear our paths, and we basically have a nice outline of that font. See that little overlap right there? Watch how easy that is to fix. Let's just do a slight contour spacing to the inside. Let's go about a 0.4 island fill. Well, that did the full island. I'm sorry. And we're going to do a 1 island fill to the inside. And that's what we're going to get. And we'll clear our paths out. And now that fixed that perfect. And basically, we just started the path a little bit to the inside. So you can see golf is perfect right there. Now what they wanted to do is they wanted to do a complete fill of this. So it is one of the easier fonts because it's pretty even throughout it. So for example, if we had no contour and we want to do an island all the way to the inside, we'll do no islands to the inside and add stones and island fill. And this is what we're going to get. And then if we clear our paths, we'll get this right here. Okay. You can see we have some overlaps. That's a pretty easy fix there. We can just increase the spacing in the text. But you can see all of this area right here, there were some issues. So what they were doing is using the magic respace, and they would go click, 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 magic respace. Click, 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 magic respace. Click, 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 magic respace. Which over time that's going to work, but there is an easier way to do it. And I'll show you how it is. So basically, you can see that that spacing in between there is about the same on all of them. So what I would do is, first thing is, I'm going to spread out the text a little bit. So I just nudge it over a little bit with my text spacing. Now when I go to place and fill and I do the islands, I'm going to do a slight little contour. Let's see what 0.025 looks like. Island fill. Now that's maybe a little bit too tight there. Maybe a tiny bit too tight. So instead of 0.25, let's do 0.20 and island fill. And that I think looks a little bit better everywhere. I would say that looks pretty perfect right there. So if I highlight this, clear my paths, look at the difference between those two. So we're going to have a couple slight little changes as far as maybe like right here. You can see a couple. This one right here, we may want to do a little bit of an adjustment on. We can delete this one right here. We are going to have some overlaps because we did the overlap. And I'm going to move this a tiny bit. But there's always going to be a tiny bit of editing involved. Then it's just a matter of when you're doing that editing, how easy that editing process is. So, like if I wanted this right here to scoot over a little bit, I could move this one over a tiny bit, highlight all of those, and magic respace, delete a stone, clear my paths. See that? Then I could come over here and say, okay, looks like a stone will fit in there pretty good. So that's looking a lot better already. Now, same thing. I can just hold my shift if I want to and click on all of these circles, magic respace, clear my path. So it fixed that. So you can see the big difference between this golf right here and this golf right here already. Okay? Now with one down here, I'm going to show you a pretty cool little tool here. So what I used to do all the time is if I wanted to break apart individual letters, I would do this. And you can admit it if you've done this, is I would go like this. I would type out my G, and then I would duplicate it, and then I would make an O, and then I would duplicate it again, and then I would make an L, and then I would duplicate it again, and then I would make an F. It's a lot of work right there. And then I would come over and arrange them. And I'll show you why we want them broken apart here in a second. Well, to do that, if it's still a typable TrueType font in the TRW Stone Wizard, if you go to Break Apart, check this out. All of them are broken apart now, and coolest part is each one is still an individual letter that you can edit or type with. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? So a cool little trick there for a Corel draw. So the reason why I want these broken apart is, watch, right now they're not broken apart. So I'm going to show you two different versions of this. First, I'm going to show you the island fill that we just did. So if I did an island fill on this, the G is looking good. The F is a little bit off. The L is a little bit off, and the O looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and clear my pass. And I can see I still have some issues on that. Now, if I came over to this one, I said, okay, well, let's try a hatch fill. Well, this is what a hatch fill looks like. I don't really like, I don't know, especially on fonts, to use a hatch fill much at all. But you can see what it did work good on was the L and the F. So what I would do with this font is I would click on the golf, break it apart, and before I do that, I'm just going to add a little bit of spacing so I don't have to do them all individually. Okay? And now I'm going to go break apart. I want the G and the O to use the island fill. So I'm going to go boom, boom, island fill, and that looks pretty good. I want to add maybe a tiny bit more. Let's see what 0.25 looks like. Island fill. I think that looks a lot better. So highlight and clear pass. There's my G and O, and I'll show you how to fix those parts. Now my L and my F, I want to do a hatch fill. So boom and boom. Highlight, clear my pass. Now, again, I still like it to where it stays pretty even throughout it. So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to move this out of the way a little bit with my arrow keys. I'm going to take this right here and just delete it. And I know I want 6 rows because all the others are 6 rows. I'm going to come over to my edit and I'm going to copy selected, copy selected, copy selected, and then just delete those two. Grab this right here. I don't need that anymore. And that was 4 rows. And I'm just going to copy selected to the right. So there's my F right there. Okay. And I think that was 4 rows actually. So I can do one more real quick. Boom. And boom. Now I got my L. Again, I want 6 rows on the L, so I don't want the spacing like that. I want them to match up perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go arrow up, arrow up, arrow up. A little bit too far, obviously. Get rid of those 2 rows. I'm going to go 4 rows, 1 over. And it looks like the top of the F is actually 5 rows, so we want to match it. So let's go 1 over there. And now with my G, what I'm going to do with my G here is, watch this. I'm going to use these 6, but I want to get it at that same height there. So I'm going to take it to this height here. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm just going to drag this over here and duplicate it. Highlight all of this and mark my bottom layer overlaps. So it got rid of all those weird looking ones. And check out how much better that looks. Now I can use my Magic Respace tool and Magic Respace that. All the rest actually look pretty good already. I can Magic Respace. I would say that looks good. Maybe this one right here I could use a little Magic Respace. So let's Magic Respace that one. And actually I don't want it to pull apart from that line. So we're going to go ahead and keep that one. And what I'm going to do is move that over a tiny bit and then Magic Respace from here. Boom, Magic Respace, clear pass. Okay, and then same thing up here at the top. I'm going to go here. I'm going to highlight these, and that's 6 rows, so 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go ahead and just duplicate that there. And highlight, Magic Respace, highlight, Magic Respace. I'm just doing the Magic Respace because I want it to, like, just in these areas where I can see. I'm pretty particular with the spacing on the design, so if I see a little bit that's off, I like to go ahead and spend the extra minute or so to fix it because I think it's going to look a lot better in the long run. So, highlight my design, clear my pass, and look at the difference between this golf right here and these 2 golfs right here. Okay, so under 10 minutes, we created the bad design and the good design of each one. But you can see how much nicer, when you use a couple of the different tools, this golf looks right here compared to this golf right here and this golf right here. So that, you know what, that's straight, it looks nice and everything. I just don't like how it looks all curved when the stones go like that. I think and I'll pull this F over here for you so you can see, I think that this F here looks a whole lot nicer. What do you guys think? I think so. So hopefully this video helped you out with some of our place and fill tools in the TRW Stone Wizard. But if you do have any questions at all, of course, make sure to give us a call. Number's 941-755-1696. This is Matt with the Rhinestoneworld.com, and you guys all have a wonderful